Hey love, today we are going to be doing lesson 25, session 1. We're going to dive right in. Alright, so we're going to apply what we know about equivalent fractions, and we're going to start with our first problem here. Doss rides his bike home. He has 7/10 of a mile left to ride. Write an equivalent fraction to show how far Doss has left to ride in hundredths of a mile. Now, we've done problems like this before, and you were quite good at it, so I don't think that we're going to do this full lesson. Let's go through right now. I'm jumping ahead of myself, as I sometimes do, but you were quite good, so let's just give your brain a little refresher. Let's dust off that area. All right, so my good old friend Doss here, he rides 7/10 of a mile. Shame on me, I didn't label what unit I'm working with, so Mrs. Tukey. All right, so I didn't do, it should say mile there, okay? Now, I want my denominator to be hundredths. Why? Where'd you come up with that? Because it says hundreds right there. That's it. So I want my denominator to be hundreds. Now, how do I get that? I know something about tens. Tens have this sneaky little trick that we like. So I want the denominator, the bottom number, to be 100. How do I do that? Well, I multiply 10 times 10. And I know that because there are 2 zeros right here, 1, 2, and then there are 2 zeros right there, 1, 2, okay? So as long as you still keep dealing with ones, you're totally fine. That rule applies every time. So I want my denominator to be hundredths, but when thinking back to equivalent fractions, equivalent is what I meant to say right there, you need to do what you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So down here, to get a denominator of 100, I multiplied by 10. Well, I have to do that to the top as well. So if I multiply the denominator by 10 to get 100, that means that I must multiply my numerator of 7 by 10 to get 70. So the equivalent in tenths to hundredths is 7/10 becomes 70 hundredths of a mile. Okay. All right, so now that we've done the work, it's going to ask us to do things that get our minds thinking about every single step, okay? So it says, explain how you can use multiplication to find a fraction with a denominator of 100 that is equivalent to 7/10. Don't be trying to trick me. I already did this, right? I already know. So don't allow yourself to second guess it just because they're making you go step by step by step. So you do what you know how to do. It's an equivalent fraction, so what you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. So I multiply the top, numerator, by 10. I multiply the bottom, denominator, by 10. Ta-da! Now here, they drew us a graph, which frankly, I'm glad they did because I didn't want to draw it all out because drawing 10 pieces, not so bad. Drawing 100 pieces, not my favorite. Now, I know that some of you are smart and you are thinking, all of you are smart, but some of you are so smart that you thought this step ahead and said, well, you know, if you just cut it another 10 times, all right, well, I didn't want to do it. So there's just the bottom line. I was just lazy. Okay, so this is asking us with these charts in mind, okay? So this is asking us a few questions. Every fraction with a denominator of 10 as a fraction, like as the bottom number obviously, can be written with a denominator of 100. How can we do this? Because some of you already jumped to it. We have 10 rows. You can just cut them another 10 ways across. Ta-da! Now you have 100. So the model at the right, this one here, is divided into 10 equal parts. How many of them are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them are shaded. If you split the tenths into another pair of tenths, then you will have 100. Then how many of them will be shaded? Y'all, I love you, but I am not counting this. So all you have to do is multiply that 7 by 10 because that's what you did. You cut that into another 10 pieces and then you got 100 pieces. So now I have 70, okay? Then it's asking us to simply write the same multiplication problem that we did on the first one. 7/10. How do I get that? I do to the top, I do to the bottom. Same thing. 7 times 10, 10 times 10. 7 times 10 is 70, 10 times 10 is 100. Ta-da! That's it, my little honey bunnies. That's what we're going to be doing for lesson 25. We're going to be doing equivalent fractions with tenths, 1 0, and hundredths, 1 0 0. So we're going to use equivalent fraction knowledge, and we're also going to use the tricks that we know about tens and hundreds and etc. So that's it. You've totally got this. All right, take care. Love you, bye.